what Nina said to me last Friday at SBS, and now I'm finally taking her advice. Now I understand what Nina's trying to say. Maybe she's right about the whole Chris stuff. So maybe I should go by her advice and at least try to and I do realize, I understand what Nina is trying to say to me. And now I know something that she told me last Friday, that I need to learn how to let go. Yes, I do have a problem with that. I do have a hard time not letting things go. She's right about that. So I understand why she's telling me about that. She's not trying to be rough with me or anything, or she's not pushing it too hard on me or anything. But yes, she's right. I do have a hard time by talking about it too much. I do need serious help with that. I do. Yes, I do got special needs. I'm high functioning. I do have a hard time not listening. She's right. Maybe that's why I'm getting yelled at from Nina. She has a point. I do like to solve things by getting in my own way. I think she's right. I do get my way all the time. That's not how it works down at SBS, by getting my own way. So I'm going to work on that this week, but not getting my own way. You got to respect other people's space with that. Instead of me talking back to Nina, that means I need to learn how to do it. I think that's what she wants. For me to start, that's what she wants, and for me to start talking back to her too much. So I'm going to try a little bit hard not to. So she's right. I finally understand what she's saying now. I totally understand what she's saying to me. And I totally understand how she feels about me talking about Chris way too much. And she's right. I do get carried away about this whole Chris stuff. I know I'm being overprotective when it comes to the Chris stuff. She's right. I'm being really, really obsessive about this whole Chris stuff. I need to learn how to keep my mind off of it. She has a point. Maybe I should listen to her with that. Maybe I should. When she's really so worried about me, getting so obsessive about Chris, then I'll cut it out. But instead of getting jealous about Chris having a job and I don't have one. And she's so worried about me getting so obsessive about Chris. Why I'm getting so obsessive about Chris? Maybe because I have a hard time not managing it. But I know I'm really obsessive about Chris. I know I've been talking about him too much. I know. It bothers Nina. She's kind of a little overprotective with me about having Chris as my boyfriend. She thinks I'm having a crush on him. Why would she think that, to have a crush on Chris? I don't have a crush on him. He's not my type. I know that Chris is single, but I do have a boyfriend that I love. That's Matthew. And I think I do have needs, and I do have my own decisions to make when it comes to having a boyfriend. And I understand that she doesn't want me having sweethearts with Chris. He is not my sweetheart. I don't date guys who are fat, or big boned, or big butts. He has a fat ass. I don't. But he's not the one who has a fat ass. So do I. My ass is kind of big, too. Yes, I do have big hips. I do have a hard time with my... It's really affecting my bursitis because I'm not taking care of that. I know I do have a big belly. I know my stomach sticks out. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to, but it's hard. I can't help it when it comes to my weight and my hips. I mean, that's what's putting pressure on my bladder because I'm overweight. I know I have a hard time by not losing weight, but at least I'm trying to. At least I'm trying to do some exercise. But instead of doing yoga, I can do bicycles and basketball in the fitness room. I can do that instead of doing yoga. And when Nina called me fat legs, it hurt my feelings. It did. But that wasn't nice, but called me to have fat legs. She even called me a wide load. I didn't like that. And it made me cry when she said that. She should have never brought that up at all. She made a complaint about my hips. And she was complaining my hips are too... She was making it into a complaint about my hips, which I didn't like. She said that I have fat hips. That that I have flabby breasts. She was making fun of my size, and I didn't like that. But so I'm not the one who is fat. Chris is fat too, and Nina is really obese and fat too. But I don't want her to worry about other people's weight. I just want her to worry about her own weight. Look at her. She's fat. She doesn't know how to lose pounds. Saying what about me? She should worry about herself. That's the whole thing. But she should not complain about other people's size and weight and height. I mean, that's why I've been gossiping about Nina. She's saying really mean things about other people's weight. That's criticizing. People doesn't like getting criticized. So she needs to be careful how she says things towards me. And I'd like for her to keep her insults about me and my weight to herself. I don't want to hear all that. I know that Nina's new. She's a new staff. I know this is her first year being in Chris's route and all that. But I know this is her first year doing FBS. But she needs to say nice things about her clients. But I don't want her talking to me that way at all. I don't want her treating me like that, thinking negative about me. I know she's trying to be nice to me, but she's not trying hard enough with that. All she does is push me around and tell me what to do. But she needs to realize I'm an adult. I need to make my own decisions. What the hell, okay? I have my needs. I'm not trying to raise up my voice at her, or yell at her, or any kind. I do respect her wishes, and I do respect her advice. But when I ask her nicely that I don't need her help, I don't need her help. Sometimes I do have I'm complaining. Why not put deodorant on my armpits? But she should not be smelling my armpits in the first place. By smelling my armpits is not sanitary. I mean, that's why I came to Trish instead of her. That's because I go to Trish for everything because she's my case manager. I can't hide things from her. She needs to know everything. And then that's why I go to Lindsay for everything too, because Lindsay is also a friend of Trish. He's there to help Trish out. That's Lindsay's job to take care of that. That Lindsay is the one that helps Trish out. They share office together in FBS. They're supposed to help each other out because that's their job. I mean, that's why I'm complaining to Trish about the Chris stuff, like the vaporing, smoke out of his mouth. I made it into a complaint of why I made it into an issue over that. It's because sometimes when you vapor or smoke out of people's mouths, you can't do that in front of other clients. It gets other clients sick. It makes you moody, makes you upset and mad. And also, when you vapor smoke out of people's mouths, it gives you a headache. That can cause it. By smoking and vaporing smoke out of people's mouths is also against the law. I don't want to see him get killed. That can affect his lungs. That's why he's been coughing a lot. Maybe that's why I'm bossing Chris around over that stuff, and I've been telling him what to do. Because when I'm telling him what's right and what's wrong, I just don't want him doing that in front of other clients and doing all over other people's faces. Maybe that's why he's getting really impatient and throwing behaviors. Maybe that's what's causing it too. Especially when you're vaporing, can make you get a lot of behaviors. Makes you get in bad moods. Makes you do more foul language. Or any kind of foul language. It makes you get into hissy fits. Gets you a lot of bad moods. That's why I'm telling him to take it easy on the vaporing. Smoke out of his mouth. That can make you into a lot of attitudes. And throwing tantrums can cause it. Anything. Also can make him get arrested by the police by doing stuff like that. And also what really causes it is not getting enough sleep. It makes you sleepy. It makes you want to cough more. If you're too much of it, then it makes you cough. It makes you sick. It makes you ill. And it gives you bad moods. That's why I tell him not to do any of that stuff. That's why I tell him not to do vaporing and smoke out of his mouth. That's why he's calling everybody names, because all that stuff too. That can cause it. Vaporing smoke out of people's, vaporing smoke out of his mouth. That's why he's been yelling at people. That's why he's shouting at people. That's why he's getting impatient, because of all the vaporing. Maybe if he stopped doing that stuff, he doesn't have to worry about getting bad moods. That's why he's been taking out on me, and Rosalinda, and Tony. And that's why he's been snapping at Renee. You know, my head boss Renee. Can't talk to her that way. She's there to help us out, and that's her job. That's what she does. He got in trouble more than 10 times with her, with Renee about that. Maybe he hadn't been doing all that stuff in the first place. Maybe he can keep SVS. Maybe he can stay in SVS with us. If he wanted to keep his job done in SVS, he could have listened to my head boss Renee. If he hadn't listened to her, he would have lost his job there in SVS. That's why he's been yelling and screaming at Nina. Tell her to mind her own business. So maybe that's why Chris doesn't want to listen to his mother. He doesn't want to hear from his mother. Still, you need to be nice to your mother. Can't talk to your mother that way. See, I listen to my mother. Tony listens to his mother. Why can't Chris do that with his? Even Nina has a mother, and she has to listen to her mother too. I bet she does that with her son, Jojo. It's the same thing. The point is, you're not supposed to talk back to your mother. Even Matthew should not do that with his mother either. It goes with everybody. Some people do have mothers, some don't. You gotta be careful how you're saying things towards your parents, because that's not nice. It isn't. But Chris is not the one who been smoking. I see Daniel Sterling doing that too. He doesn't do that in front of people. He only does it outside. I've been seeing Daniel do a lot of that too. Daniel Sterling has been doing the same thing. He's been smoking cigarettes. He buys all the secrets. He buys all the cigarettes from the liquor store. He's getting everybody hooked to it. So it was Daniel Sterling that got Jonathan involved with that stuff. Daniel Sterling is the one that got my driver Chris in the middle of that stuff. He's able to smoke out his mouth because it was Daniel's making him do all that. Daniel had no business selling that stuff to Chris. I think Daniel's trying to get my driver Chris sick. He shouldn't be selling drugs to Chris. That's not right what Daniel's doing. It's because Chris does it. It doesn't mean for Daniel to do all that stuff. That's why he took 6 days off of FES, because of Daniel. Daniel should have never got Chris hooked to all that. I can't believe Daniel got him hooked to all that stuff. That wasn't cool what Daniel did. They said Daniel, my driver, Chris got sick from it because of him. So it should be Daniel's fault.